right, Shalom. As always, I'm thankful and I'm grateful to be able to come out here once again to preach and to prophesy unto my people, being you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And according to the Holy Bible, you are the biblical Israelites. This is based off of your father's genetic line. It's about paternal and agnet relations, in which determines whether or not you are of Jacob. This is not a so-called black or white thing. Mingling those two shades together, you get gray. And there are no gray areas when it comes to this ministry. So I'm not teaching colorism whatsoever. Our people have been dispersed all throughout the earth, which is why I come out here in the open and broad places, seeing that we look like all nations under the sun, and to let you other nations know your future and your judgment also. And before I get started, I have to give all thanks and praises unto our power, the power of Israel, not the power of any other nation, seeing that I don't come in my own name. And what is his name? Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Warakakwadash. Peace, blessings, and much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth to the rest of the church who believe as well. You men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons and daughters also. The water, which means thank you to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. All right? We consistently warn our people that the so-called white man, in the Bible, they are known as the biblical Edomites. They are the wicked that the Bible speaks of, and they are not our friends. In fact, they are our enemies. And not only are they our enemies, they hate us, man. Regardless of what you Israelites think, regardless of what you Israelites believe, these devils hate you. They hate your guts. All right, these really silly hillbillies, they don't like you. All right, and if you don't wake up, the Lord is going to wake you up by death and pain. So let's go to Psalms chapter 55 and verse 1. To the chief musician on Neganoth, Mashil, a psalm of David. Give ear to my prayer, O power, and hide not thyself from my supplication. Attend unto me and hear me. I mourn in my complaint and make a noise. And one thing about the elect are going to complain. The elect are going to sigh and cry about all the unjust acts that are being done in the midst. Here's the point though. Because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked. So the wicked is speaking of Esau, Edom. Esau, Edom oppresses our people. Hell, they oppress their own people, let alone our own. Because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked. For they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me. So these devils hate us. They have wrath towards us. They are our enemies. And yet a lot of you Israelites, you're trying to unify with your enemies. But while doing that, you're coming against your brother. Your neighbor are those of your race, those of your lineage. Okay? Because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me. So it says, because of the oppression of the wicked. Let's go into Malachi chapter 1, because we understand we have to go precept upon precept. And I'm going to prove that Esau is the wicked. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. So here it is, they're constantly building. They're constantly trying to add on to America, seeing that America is falling. In fact, some days ago on my way to work, I was actually late. and I'm never late to my job for my own doing. Okay, I'm pretty punctual. But I was driving to my job, so I'm gonna go into two moments. One day I was driving to my job, and there was a long detour that I had to take because the path that I would normally take was blocked off. So I had to go to a different location, right? So the second time, knowing that where I normally would take was blocked off, I went to that second location. It was also blocked off. So then I had to figure out another way of going through these detours to get to my job, because these devils are constantly building. It can really become a burden when it comes to a point of you trying to get to your job, or you have somewhere to be and you have to go through some long detour. But here it is, the economy's collapsing, America's not doing that good, okay? And then you're constantly seeing them trying to build back, whether it's buildings, whether it's fixing the concrete, okay? Because you probably only get about 70 good years out of concrete. Well, seeing that a lot of this concrete was paved at the same time, it's falling to hell in a handbasket at the same time. And they're trying to, keep their society polished, and it ain't working out. So as they're trying to build up, which when you go back to the saying, build back better, who came up with that slogan? Okay, or who made it popular? Joe Biden. Okay, well, he's an Edomite. And these Edomites, they're constantly trying to build. But the Lord is going to throw this place down in 1 hour. Whereas Edom, the so-called white man, saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And how are they impoverished? How are they beat down? Because the society's collapsing. America's not as great as what she once was. So in their mind, well, we'll just keep on building, and we'll make it better than ever before. We'll make America great again. Well, America's not going to be great again. America's going to be destroyed in less than an hour, or in 1 hour, excuse me. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. So Esau, Edom, they're known as the wicked. They're known as the border of wickedness. Anytime you see an Edomite, you are entering a realm of wickedness. And the people against whom the Lord Yahweh hath indignation forever. So the Lord hates you Edomites. And guess what? We understand that you hate us. And you Israelites, if you're in your right mind, you will hate Esau as well. Okay? Because these nations don't care about you. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 15. In verse 5. For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? These Edomites, along with these other nations, they don't care about us. They're not trying to fix our situation. In fact, they benefit more off of our ignorance. They benefit more off of us not turning back to our power. Okay? And a lot of these nations, they know, or a lot of these people within these other nations know that we're the Israelites, and they're still not going to tell you. So seeing that America's economy is doing really bad, they're feeling like they can build back better, but the judgment of the Lord is to throw this place down during World War III. And that's soon to come. And a lot of people may not believe it. Well, it's not about what you believe. Your opinion doesn't matter. The Lord's going to kill you and your opinion. If it's contrary to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, it does not matter. Okay? For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? So do you think there are being councils about how the Israelites, the Negro, Latino, and Native American, needs to be treated more fairly? Do you think the United Nations are joining together, talking about the Negro, Latino, and Native American being treated better, how they need to be repaired, how they need to be, given back all that's been taken from them? They're not going to do that. And in their minds, as an excuse, well, it's not our fault, it's your fault. And to a degree it is, because we broke the laws, statutes, and commandments. So in their mind, it's like, well, that's on you. It's not my fault you're an idiot. It's not my fault you want to keep spending all this money with us. It's not our fault your woman's a whore. It's not our fault your son's a gangbanger or a drug dealer. That's how these nations look at us. You got to pick yourself up by the bootstrap and you got to figure it out, because they don't care about you. Thou hast forsaken me, said the Lord Yahweh. Thou art gone backward. Therefore will I stretch out my hand against thee and destroy thee. I am weary with repenting. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is just going to start killing off more Israelites, because if you don't want to turn back to him, but you would rather follow after these different nations, starting with Esau, who hate you, who don't like you, they don't care about your health, your safety, your well-being, and all the above, but you would rather follow after them than to follow after your power. Okay? And here it is, these devils are showing all the time that they don't like you, but y'all are too stupid to see it. Jeremiah chapter 30 in verse 14. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. So all these different nations, all these different heathens that you Israelites are putting your faith and confidence into is going to come to a point where they forsake thee. I don't know what this is here. Let me see. Boy, it was a chariot. It disappeared. It was flying. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. I didn't want to be too quick to say it was a chariot, but that's what it was. And I would have got it a little bit sooner, but when I glanced at it, it kind of threw me for a loop. I was thinking it might have been one of Esau's craft, but it was indeed a chariot, because as I glanced at it, it went from being really bright as it was moving, and then it just faded out. But anyway, Jeremiah 30 and 14. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy. And we're constantly being shown that we're hated by these other nations. But you Israelites, you don't want to believe the hate that they're showing you. I'm the type of guy, I believe the energy that you show me. Okay? I'm not the type of guy to see good in somebody who's a damn scumbag. If you show me that you're a scumbag, I'm going to take you as a scumbag. I'm going to believe it. Okay? And a lot of you Israelites, you're scumbags. All right? You don't want to turn back to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So it's going to come to a point where he's going to leave you to your lust. And your lust is going to forsake you, being these other nations. Our people are involved in all sorts of different doctrines and beliefs. You're living like these heathen who you are amongst. But living like that is only going to leave you destroyed. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, because these nations are our enemies. With the chastisement of a cruel one, starting with Esau, Edom. For the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has set up a nation of people over us that hate us, that don't even like us, because of our disobedience toward the Lord. All right? That's why you get those awkward stares. That's why Esau be showing hatred. That's why Esau be plotting. That's why in certain areas you still have something known as sundown towns. Okay, you still have certain areas. If Edomites see you, they'll close their blinds and call the police, because the Lord has put us in a position to be under our enemies. And instead of you Israelites being shamed and want to repent, you would rather join hand in hand with these devils and these other nations to your own destruction. Okay? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 21. And verse 10. It's beautiful that I saw that chariot though, because, on the video, I believe you get to see it. You don't get to see it as good as I got to see it, because by the time I turned my phone to it, it was a little bit too late. But you saw it fade out, okay? You saw it fade out, and the Lord is constantly showing that he's with us. And you have a lot of carnal men, because you're not as popular as somebody else. Oh, you ain't nobody special. I guarantee that if one of the elder apostles of GMS was to say they're one of the 12 disciples, you wouldn't even question it, because it's them. Okay? But a man could be shown chariots, showing you that the chariots are real, showing you that the chariots are with him, right? Or the angels are with him, and you'll still not even believe this guy. Because a lot of you men, you're carnal as hell, and the Lord ain't dealing with you. And as I'm growing and as I'm getting older in the spirit, there are men in particular who are in camps who I once looked at and favored and thought they could be men of the Lord. As time goes by, well, maybe they still are. Maybe they are men of the Lord. But as time goes by, I'm starting to see they're not as spiritual as I thought they would be. They're not as smart as I thought they would be. Okay? The soul of the wicked desireth evil. His neighbor findeth no favor in his eyes. So you Israelites are not favored in Esau's eyes. Esau hates you. He despises you. But instead of you turning to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you would rather turn to your enemies. And seeing that you want to join hand in hand with your enemies, it's not going to go well for you. All right? The soul of the wicked desireth evil. His neighbor findeth no favor in his eyes. So you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you don't have any favor in Esau's eyes, because he's the wicked. You are the sons and the daughters of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. He's not created to be your friend. He's not created to love you. He's created to be your enemy. He's created to be hated and annihilated. All right? But you want to hold, these devils at high regard. And then you want to put down the laws of the Most High while exalting the ways of the wicked. When the scorner is punished, the simple is made wise. And when the wise is instructed, he receiveth knowledge. But the problem is Esau isn't punishing people accordingly. That's why so many people have become stupid. This world has become more wicked, more vicious, because people are not being punished accordingly. Men are out here, committing adultery with other men's wives, and they're not dying for it. Women are out here being hoes, and they're not dying for it. Okay, punishments aren't being set forth accordingly. So it's really causing a lot of these scorners, a lot of these rebellious people to remain rebellious, because punishment hasn't been sent forth. But you better believe that judgment is coming, because it tells you in Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and 11 that just because sentence against an evil work isn't executed speedily, and therefore, the hearts of the Son of Man are fully setting them to do evil, don't think it's going to go well for you wicked people, man, because judgments are coming. All right? You can believe that. Judgment's coming. The righteous man wisely considereth the house of the wicked, but the power overthroweth the wicked for their wickedness. So if you're righteous, you're going to be circumspect. You're going to be prudent. You're going to observe the wicked. You're going to know who your enemies are. You're going to be aware of their devices. You're not going to be, out here just stupid with your head shoved up your ass, not understanding that the wicked is seeking to kill you, seeking to overthrow you. All right? Let's go to Psalm 73. Psalms chapter 73 and verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. So these devils, they're not in trouble like other men. You have something known as so-called white supremacy, although that system, that structure is indeed falling, but it hasn't completely failed yet. So favor is still being showed to these devils. And you Israelites, you're not getting fair treatment. You're being treated like the bottom of their shoe. And why is that? Because the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, has set them up against us for punishment. And we're coming to the end of our punishment. We're coming to that point where the elect of Israel are going to be saved out of this captivity, which is not our rest, according to the book of Micah. Let's grab that. And I'll jump back. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, and verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. So we're not here, to be prosperous. We're not here to be this great basketball player or this great rapper, okay? We're not here for that. We're here to suffer punishment. And we're coming to the end of our punishment. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall surely destroy you, even with a sore destruction. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of this people. I will surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. I will put them together as the sheep of Basra, as the flock in the midst of their fold. They shall make great noise by reason of the multitude of men. The breaker is come up before them. They have broken up and have passed through the gate and are gone out by it. And their king shall pass before them, and the Lord on the head of them. So this is not our rest. You got to arise and depart out of Babylon. These devils don't like you, man. That's why you're being oppressed. That's why you get the awkward stares. That's why they come together in secret, finding ways to overthrow you. That's why they don't care about your oppression. They don't care about your condition. They'll lie and tell you, oh, well, I have a friend who's black and all that other nonsense. The Most High is telling you they don't like you. Okay? And if they happen to be a so-called white person that likes you, more than likely they don't go back to these other nations. They don't go back to Esau or Elam or Ishmael. They might go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But the point being, we have to arise and depart from this place because it's not our rest. Psalm 73 and 5, they are not in trouble as other men, because this is their time. It's not our time. This is not our rest. Neither are they plagued like other men. So you have white supremacy, Edomite supremacy, red supremacy. They're not plagued like the Israelites are. In fact, these other nations don't go through what we go through. Yeah, all these other nations are, going through it, don't get me wrong. But when you look at our history and how we've been treated overall, through and through, no one has been oppressed like the nation of Israel. But yet you have these other nations trying to share our struggle, trying to pretend like they can relate to our struggle, and they can't do it. They just can't do it. Let's go to Baruch chapter 2. get that. Let me see. It's acting funny right now. Alright, so this is the book of Baruch. Come on now. Alright, give me a moment. You know, it's acting up. But whenever I do get it, I'm going to the book of Baruch chapter 2. Baruch chapter 2 and verse 1. Therefore the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges that judged Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah, to bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses. So when you go into the curses, no one has suffered those curses like us. And those curses were also put on us for a sign, in case you're wondering who the Israelites could be today, seeing that they would fall away from their heritage, seeing that we're in a whole different time in comparison to the ancient world. How would you know who the biblical Israelites are if they've been scattered? It will be due to the curses, the spirit. And no other nation has suffered these curses on the same level as Israel. Now we understand that these curses are turning on our enemies, according to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7. But when you look at our history and all the different captivities that we've gone through, all the way up until now, this current day, no other nation has suffered like Jerusalem. We're those people that are being oppressed, and no one can share that story on the same level that we can. But rather, you believe it or not, these devils, Esau, Edom, along with these other nations, they're not your friends. They actually, thrive off of you being ignorant. They thrive off of you being oppressed. To bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses. So no one has suffered like the Israelites. That's why these other nations, they look down upon us. They despise us. A cop can kill you and he won't even be charged. He'll get off paid leave. Or they'll fire him and tell him he's suspended, but all he has to do is go to some other police department, and then he'll be able to get his badge back. And the reason why they're able to do that is because favor is showed upon them because it's their time. But you Israelites, this is not your rest. This is not our time. We're coming into our time, but we're not there just yet. Okay, let's go to Zechariah. Chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose oppressors slay them? Whose possessors slay them? And who is possessing us right now? These Edomites. Ever since we've been thrown in slavery, all the way up until now, we've never been set free. Let's hold this. See if I can find it. Man, what's up with the scriptures today? Dang, that's not it. So I'm going to read Deuteronomy chapter 24 and 7. If a man be found stealing any of his brethren of the children of Israel, and was Esau not Jacob's brother? Yes, he was. But what happened? He broke that brotherly covenant through violence. Okay? And through violence, that's how Esau has shown his hatred. Deception, trickery. If a man be found stealing any of his brethren of the children of Israel, and maketh merchandise of him, or selleth him, then that thief shall die, and thou shalt put evil away from among you. So Esau, you're a guilty thief. And seeing that you've stolen your brethren, you're going to die for that. You are going to pay for that. Okay? Zechariah chapter 11 and 5. Whose possessors slay them. So who is possessing us? The same ones who put us in hardcore slavery, and until this day, they've never let us go. That's why you have a social security number, because you are not owner of yourself. You don't own your own children, okay? You don't own your wife. You are owned by the Rothschilds, which, ultimately were owned by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai. But in physical form, we are possessed by those who are over us, starting with the Rothschilds, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. The cop can blow someone's head off of the tribe of Judah or one of the other tribes and get off. And they shall sell, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So here it is, we get treated the way that we do. And these devils, they're feeling like, well, look, if the Lord isn't saving you, if we're able to do it, then clearly the Lord is with us. Then clearly we're not doing anything wrong. A chariot just popped out again, but this is a different one. Where did I see it? Okay. I didn't get that other one, but at least I can get this one. And the Lord is going to keep showing that he's with his men. Because a lot of you guys, you so carnal, even if the Lord himself smacked you in the face and said, I'm dealing with him, you still wouldn't believe it, because it's not who you want it to be. Just like I heard a statement, the 12 disciples would have to be amongst the elders of GMS. That's carnal as hell. That's carnal as hell. That is not spiritual at all. And all the 12 were of Judah. All the elders and apostles of GMS aren't of the southern kingdom. So that doesn't even make sense. Yep, you people are going to find out the hard way, man. You're going to find out the hard way. A lot of you guys are just foolish as hell. But anyway, let's go on ahead and go forward. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 11. And verse 20. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. And right now we're still in Esau's blessing. We are living out Esau's blessing, and Esau is also coming into the end of his blessing. Okay? We're coming into a point where these devils are not going to keep on afflicting us. We're not going to keep on being oppressed. We're not going to keep on suffering violence by the hands of our enemies. So now what I'll do, I'll jump to the book of Joel. Joel chapter 3 In verse 18, and it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord Yahweh, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. So seeing that you've shown hatred towards my people, and specifically speaking of my tribe being Judah, the Lord is going to punish you devils for that. You're not getting off freely, but you're going to pay for that. Okay? Thus says the Lord. You can have a problem, you can be mad, you can reject it, you can say it's not true, you can try to laugh it off, you can do all the above. But you devils, your time has been had, and you're at the end. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. So Edom's going to be wiped off the face of the map after they serve hardcore slavery. We're going to take them, we're going to round them up and burn their asses up. And even long before that happens, America, Babylon the Great, is going to be wiped off the face of the map due to thermonuclear missiles, due to nuclear destruction. And all you so-called white people, you Edomites who claim to be Christian, but you praying for America, you're satanic. You're anti the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. Because if you knew the truth of the Bible, you would know that judgment is coming to the wicked and Babylon and those who pertain unto it. Okay? But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. Not you, Esau. You're coming to your end. Okay? Let's go to Job 27 and 13. Job chapter 27 and verse 13. This is the portion of a wicked man with the power, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, and you can tell, look around, these Edomites have been multiplied. Now, one thing with the devil, they do lie. They've been saying that, speaking of the Negro, a chariot right above me, beautiful. Speaking of the Negro, we've been 13% of the population since the 70s. How does that make sense when you got, Tyrone, Day-Day, Raheem, okay, with 5, 6 different baby mamas, and then they might not even just have one with each woman. He might have 2 here, 1 here, 3 over there, but we're still 13% of the population. You devils are liars. But now we've seen right before our eyes, you devils have multiplied. You're everywhere. But you're not multiplying for nothing more than to be destroyed. How about that? Did you know that? You Edomites are being multiplied for the Lord to take you down. Okay? And I know you're angry. I know that offends you, but who cares? This is the portion of a wicked man with the power, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. So what's the heritage of an Edomite? If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword. Because if you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword. And Esau's blessing was the sword. And seeing that that was his blessing, his end would always have to result to the sword. And his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. So that's what's coming. Destruction to you devils, man. And your end is going to be with the sword. This society is going down through thermonuclear destruction. It's going down through warfare. Because that's how you live. All right? Let's pick up this chariot again. for a quick second. Oh, it's behind the cloud now, right when I wanted to do it. See, the Lord's always on time, man. Maybe he didn't want y'all to see it again. He's like, they've seen enough. They believe or they don't. Well, like I said, man, if I was one of the elder and apostles, and I was to say I was one of the 12, people would believe me then. But because of statements I've made, brothers have gotten offended and felt a certain way, but the Lord be showing me chariots. And it's funny, not throwing shade in a wicked way, but for some of you men who might doubt me, why do I see chariots more than you? Just saying. Anyway, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep, because his widows are going to come to us. I think it came out again, just barely though. But Esau's widows, once Esau gets taken down, his women ain't gonna mourn for him. They're gonna be too busy in seeking for an Israelite man. Plus, we're gonna be in power. So these women are going to be ready and willing. Okay? And that includes the women of these other nations. Let's go to Psalms chapter 110. In verse 3, it's covered up again. The cloud has covered up the cloud. All right. Man, that one I saw earlier, I wish I would have got it, because when I was glancing at it, I'm thinking it was probably Esau's aircraft. But see what hesitation can get you? I should have jumped on it when it was hot. It's kind of like trying to get a chick number, man. You wait too long, opportunity done been passed up, brother. Thy people, and not just our people, all these different people. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness. From the womb of the morning, thou hast to do of thy youth. And in our kingdom, these Edomite women are not going to cry over seeing their men being bashed, being, just brutally tortured. Their women are going to want to be under us, and they're going to be under us. But what I'm saying is their women are willingly going to be under us. They're not going to cry and say, how could you do that? That's my dad. They're going to be like, praise Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, my Lord. Please let me come under you. Please let me be your wife. After just knocking off her husband right in front of her. These women of these other nations, they're not going to be worried about you other men once we get established, man. But see, in our kingdom, we're not going to be wicked. We're not going to be committing adultery. If you got a wife, we're not going to commit adultery with your wife. But when you're in slavery, if we decide to take you out and then take your woman, we'll be able to do that. Take you out, let the woman mourn for like a month. Not like she'll be close to you anyway, because you'll only have a woman to procreate. Outside of that, you're not going to be touching no woman around me. You're going to be deprived of women in the kingdom, Esau, outside of bearing children. All right? I just saw a flash of light, I think. That's crazy, man. See, the Lord is beautiful. I just saw like a little flicker and it just went away. And see, I've made certain mentions to where you would think, yeah, he's definitely bugged out. But rather, the Lord is still showing me signs all the time that he's with me. All the time. And it's just funny that a lot of men, they're so spiritual, but they can't pick up on spiritual matters unless it concerns, someone of importance in their eyes. So let's go on. Let's go forward. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 45. In verse 16, they shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. They shall go to confusion together, that are makers of idols. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord, with an everlasting salvation, yet shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. So salvation is coming to the nation of Israel. It's not coming to you Edomites. It's not coming to you Ishmaelites. It's not coming to you Moabites, man. It's not coming to any other nation, you Hamites. It's not coming to any other nation outside of the nation of Israel. Yashar Allah, the princes of power, man. We got next. We're going to rule forever. And all of our oppressors, starting with Esau on down, are going into slavery. You're going to be under Israel forever. Well, Esau, after that 1,000 years, after he serves his punishment, he's going to be annihilated. You'll never hear about an Edomite being alive again after that. But, or existing for that matter. But after that 1,000 years, or after that period of these other nations going into slavery, they're going to be good. They're going to live long, full lives. They'll be living 950 plus years. Okay, if they're living obediently, okay, if they're following the ways of the Lord to the best of their ability and they're doing what they're supposed to do, they might live to see 1,000. They're not going to see that now, but before you get to that point, y'all's asses got to go into slavery under Israel. And then even once you receive your liberty of leaving slavery after punishment, you're still going to be under us. It's never going to change. We're going to be the government that rules the earth forever. The nation of Israel under the Heavenly Father Yahweh and His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai. The kingdom of heaven is going to be a righteous kingdom, unlike this place. Okay? But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. And right now, it's not our time, but our time is coming, man. And seeing that Esau's done a lot of violence to our people, he's done a lot of wickedness towards our people, their dumb asses have to pay for that. Let's go to Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 10. The chariot's back out again. Might as well get it while I read the scriptures. All right. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 10. For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. Thou shalt be cut off forever. So salvation is for the Israelites. We're going to be an everlasting world without end. You Edomites, you're not given that promise. It's not for you. Salvation is only for the Jew and also the Greek, aka the Israelites who are following the customs of these other heathen. Okay? And that's the majority of our people. But certain ones of our people are going to come out of that. They're not going to keep following after the ways of this world, but rather are going to come out of this world. But those who are joined unto this world, those who are joined hand in hand with the wicked, you're not going to be unpunished, neither will they. For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Verse 15, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. So the Lord is coming soon to judge all you heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. That's right. And why is that? Because you reap what you sow. Okay? That's why. You reap what you sow. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. You reap what you sow. If you reap wickedness, you're going to sow the same. Whatever seeds you plant, that's going to be the results that you receive. Okay? And the day of the heathen, the day of judgment is coming because of all the wickedness that's been done towards the children of Israel. Ezekiel chapter 25 in verse 12. Thus said the Lord power, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus said the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger, and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord power. So you Israelites, you might say, oh, I don't hate nobody. Well, the Lord's going to put a particular spirit on certain of you Israelites to hate the heathen. Okay? And not only hate the heathen, to get busy on these heathen, man. You're going to have a lot of Israelites who don't even believe in this gospel putting down Edomites, man. Because the Lord is going to make them do it. Because at the end of the day, the Lord is the one programming everything. He's the one behind it all. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay? I'm going to close it. I'll bring out maybe one or two more. And I'm going to just wrap it up. Isaiah chapter 60 and 15. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. So as much as these devils and these other nations have forsaken us, they hate us, they don't do anything to help our people, it's all good. Because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to raise us up out of this dunghill that we are currently in. And he's going to exalt us, set us in a high place. We're going to be like a nation of people at the top of a mountain looking down on all these other nations. We're going to be the new authority in charge. You got to come to us. That's how it's going to be. Believe it or not. Okay? But Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to turn his people into a very, very great nation. That's what's predestined for his people, starting with the elect of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, because these nations hate us. That's why they forsake us and hate us, because they hate us. It's common sense. So that no man went through thee. That's why they're not going to repair us. You Negroes are still talking about reparations because you're simple. And they still haven't given it to you, and you don't consider, well, damn, if they haven't given it to us, maybe they don't like us. Well, no shit, Sherlock. And then you'll always hear these excuses. Oh, it's the government this, the government that. Look, man, stop saying government. Stop blaming the government. Blame Esau, the so-called white man. Because when you're saying government, that's who you're talking about. You're talking about these elite who are in power. These Edomites who are in power. Talking about the government. No, the fucking white man, as you would call him, the so-called white man, who's really the red devil, the wicked that the Bible speaks of. All right? So as much as we're forsaken and hated, we're about to receive our kingdom, man. Matthew chapter 26 In verse 52, then said Yahweh unto him, put up again thy sword into its place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. And that's Esau's blessing. Esau's blessing is the sword. And that's exactly why they're about to perish very soon. They're about to be brought down very soon through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Because again, if the wicked be multiplied, they're only being multiplied to be put to death. Let's close it with this in Psalms 104. Chapter 8. They go up by the mountains, they go down by the valleys, unto the place which thou hast founded for them. Thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over, that they turn not again to cover the earth. So yes, the wicked have been multiplied, but they're about to be taken out of power, and they're not going to cover the earth ever again. It's not going to happen. But rather, the Israelites, the sons of Jacob, are going to be put in position, set in authority, and we're going to make things right through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because it's going to be a righteous kingdom. It's going to be on earth as it is in heaven. And in the heavenly realm, it's complete order. And it's going to be order here on earth as well. All right? And when you heathen get out of slavery outside of Esau, okay? If you break the law, statutes, and commandments, it's not going to be like now where you can go commit adultery and nothing happens and the woman gets to leave and take everything at the end of the day regardless. No. If you commit adultery, the penalty is going to be death for you and the woman. That's how it's going to be in our kingdom for all you other nations. If the penalty is death, that's what you're going to receive. You're going to be judged by the Israelites, because we're going to be governing the earth with the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So these words that I'm reading in the Bible, these words are everlasting words. They're not going to end. So I'm going to go on ahead and wrap it up and give all praises unto our power, the power of Israel, not the power of any other nation. And what is his name? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Ba'ashem Wa Rakakwadash. Until next time, Shalom, I'm out.